Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500 and welcome back to Project Holly Day 6. Today we are going to adjust that door. Well, actually for me it's going to be tomorrow because I'm here on my own today, and you know what happens if I try and do the door on my own, I end up damaging it. So yeah, the door, I will do the door tomorrow, which will be on this video, but today we're going to do lots of other bits and pieces to get this, try and get this car as finished as we possibly can in this video. So let's get on and we'll explain what we're going to do today. Stay tuned. It's a very sunny day and it's going to be a very warm day again today. It's going to hit 30 degrees again today. So yeah, the door. So as we explained at the end of the last video, we need to adjust the in and out of the hinges, and I've got a bit of a rounded off bolt and I can't get a socket on it because there's no room when you've got the door open. The wing has got to be adjusted anyway. So what I thought I would do is, if I take that wing off, I don't know whether you can get a socket on it with the wing off, with the door closed. I'm not sure. You can certainly get a spanner on it, but the spanners aren't proving much use, so I need to get a socket on there. I don't think there's going to be enough room, but I will try it and see if I can. As I say, the wing hasn't got to come off, but it's got to be adjusted. So I might as well take it off and see if I can get that spanner in there, socket in there or not. Otherwise, tomorrow I'll be taking the door off again, which I really don't want to do, but if it's got to be done, it's got to be done. Well, it has got to be done if I can't get to that bolt, or if I can't get that bolt undone. And what else have we got to do? I don't think the bonnet's going to need much more adjustment, because here it's okay now, pretty much. That might have to come out slightly, but again, that's all part of that adjustment. The front is all okay, the gap and everything. The gap here is okay. It could be a little bit better up here, but I think it's probably going to be okay. I need a little bit of work on this wing, tied it up a little bit. There's a few paint spots to go around, not many, but a few. We've got that crease down there to try and get out. If I can't get it out, I did get it out a bit, but it needs to come out a lot more. If I can't get it out, I'll get the dent man round. He'll do it for 25 quid for me. Got to change that aerial base. I mean, that aerial base doesn't even look particularly old. It almost looks as if it's new, but I'm not getting any radio signal at all. So I think before I do that, just in case the car's locked, I've got to do those vents. Let's just open it up, bear with. I've got to do those vents. So I've got to take the stereo out. So when I take the stereo out, I'll make sure that the aerial's actually connected that end. You never know. The door card is off, obviously, because the door's got to come off, but I've also got to change that handle as well, because this is the lock for the old car, this is the lock for the car that this door came off of, not for the car. I've got that handle in the boot, which came off of the old door. Clean the engine, clean the car, inside's all clean. I've still got to do that little hole, the little burn hole on the seat. Still got to sort that out if I can, and I'm going to get the old ozone machine in there, because a little bit smelly in there. I don't know if it's because it's been shut up for a while. In fact, I might even open the windows today just to give it a bit of an air out, but I don't know what it smells of, but it's just a bit musty in there. Just needs a bit of an air, a bit of a freshen up, so that ozone machine will sort that out. I've got the new plate on the front. I've got a little bit to touch up on the bumper. I've got to put the new plate on the back. I think that's about it. It's not a massive amount of job. Yeah, I've got to get the new plate on the back. It's not a massive amount of stuff to do to it, really. It's had the new brakes. It doesn't need an MOT. It's only a Cat N, so it doesn't need an MOT. The MOT, I think, is until February, March, something like that. So there's like, it might be January. I can't remember off the top of my head. I will put in here when it is, because I will look before I upload this video. But there's several months left, so as a Cat N, I'm not going to bother getting it MOT'd. If it was an S, I would. As it's an N, I'm not. So that's it. So I think we need to get on. I'm just trying to work out what to do first. I think what I'm going to do first is adjust this wing, because we need to improve that gap, we need to improve that gap. So that has got to move forward. By moving that forward to get that gap correct, that will obviously move that forward, which should sort that out. So I'm going to take the wheel off, jack it up, take the wheel off, disconnect the bumper just here, get the wheel arch liner obviously, get the wing off, see if I can get to that bolt, put the wing back on. Bob's your auntie's living lover, hopefully, for that bit. Failing that, as I say, door's got to come off tomorrow. But let's stop waffling. That's a pretty much, unless I've forgotten anything. Oh, I've got to take that off as well, that strip, and of course the sticker down the side. But yeah, enough of this waffling. Let's get on with it and get it done. Right, there we go, wings off again, that didn't take long. Of course, what I didn't realise was, of course, when the door's closed, of course the bolt's facing this way, so of course I can get a socket on there. You can see it's a little bit mashed up, that bottom one. So hopefully I need to get this up on an axle stand as well. It's only on the jack at the moment. So yeah, I ain't got to touch this. I think it's just this that needs adjusting. So it's, what did I say it's got to do? It's got to go in or out, I've forgotten. So yeah, it's got to go in. In fact, you can see there's a gap at the bottom. So yeah, so if I loosen that and push it in, I probably can even do it without opening the door. I might be able to. And then I think that will bring that. I might have to loosen that one as well a little bit, which is okay anyway. I loosened that with a spanner. That wasn't a problem. But yeah, so if that moves in, that moves out very, very slightly. What I need to do is get that back in the position it was in. You can see there. So I'll do that first. I'll get that back in the position it was. So although the door will be in the correct place here, it will be out at the top. So if I do that first and then come to this bit, I'm hoping that will then put it right. We will see. So I'm going to set you up and we'll see if we can do it. Right. So what I'm going to do first, it's on an axle stand now, so I'm going to undo this one first, he says. Right, and that seems to play the game a bit more when it's open, the door's open. So that's sort of come out, I think. Do that up. Let's open the door. Yeah, see, that's come back out now. So, and that's sort of in the right place. I think it might have to come out just a smidgen more, but we'll worry about that afterwards. So this is the main thing, is to get this bolt undone without. So it's not going on the bolt properly. I'm going to have to hammer it on, I think, a little bit. Just take the battery off, disconnect the battery. So I'm going to try hammering this socket on. This is going to be a right pain otherwise. That's it. Right, hopefully that's enough now to get it started. Fingers crossed. Yes, that's it. Right. Okay, so we needed to go in, didn't we? Might need to loosen it more. I may have to do it with the door open, possibly. Yeah, I think I might have to do it with the door open. Let's get this out of the way. Right, so we think that's got to come out like that. That's what we think's got to happen. So if we do that back up, like that, and then we'll see Much better. Much better. Much, much better. Not perfect. So that's out as far as it will come, I think. I pulled it and I think that's came out as far as it came. So I might have to compromise and push this back a little bit. I don't think it's nothing to do with the striker plate, because this part of the door is fine. It's just the top. It's hardly anything, but it's not perfect. And I'd rather get it perfect if I can. Let's see if I can get it to come out a bit more. It's definitely done the trick by putting the bottom in. Okay, loosen that. Pull in the bottom of the door, which I think has come. Oh yeah, no, actually no, that's what that must have done. I need to get a spanner because I've pulled that more, so it must have. Let's go around the other side. So when I closed the door, it must have pulled back again. So what I need to do is get a spanner to tighten that up. There's my 15mm spanner. Hopefully, as it's loose, I can get the spanner on it. I can get the spanner on it, just enough to tighten it up without the door moving. Yeah, that should. Another little bit of a turn. I don't want it slipping off the nut again. Right, let's try that. Oh, blimey, no. That's gone the wrong way. That's interesting. So that's... The door's come out further than it was before by doing that. That's weird. That is weird. So maybe I'm doing it too much. Maybe that's all it is. Yeah, see, when I do that, it's obviously under tension, because when I undo it, it sort of releases the tension on it. You know what, I think that's going to be all right, actually. It isn't perfect, but I think it's not too bad. I just want to try. I'm going to have a little fiddle with this one again and see how this affects. Yeah, you can't really do this with the door closed, you have to do it with the door open, which is a bit of a nuisance. So if I push that out, where's my spanner? I need the spanner again. Because again, if I let it go, it will just slide back. What I'm going to do is, rather than boring you with this backwards and forwards, because it's fine tuning, that's all it is. So I'll pause it for a minute, and then we'll come back once I've got it a happy medium. Yeah, it was a right palaver, and I couldn't get it perfect. And you know what I've done? I've actually got a slide hammer on this corner and pulled the door in, and it's worked perfectly. So I reckon this door was a little bit bent, you know. It's too much of a coincidence. So it didn't take much. It wasn't much that I did it. I should have filmed it, but I thought it was going to go on for some time, but it didn't. So all I did was I wedged the door against that, put my foot against it. I'll show you what I did. So I wedged the door, like I put my foot against it. I had a cloth on there with a slide hammer and just pulled in on that corner, and it's worked perfectly. It didn't take much at all, and it's perfect now. Absolutely perfect. So that's that done. So the door hasn't got to come off, and I made sure I did those bolts up tight before I put the wing on. The wing is on nice. Bonnet is closed but does need some adjustment still. Wheels back on. Gap down there is good. Gap just there is good. So all I've got to do is, well, all I've got to do, I've got to take that off still, which I'll do this afternoon. I'm going to do that now. So I've just boiled the kettle, so I'm going to try the old hot water method. I'm going to try on that end first, I think. Yeah, it may need the rubber wheel because I reckon this is the factory one. Look how faded it is as well. I mean, you can see the red there as it goes. Obviously been parked in the sun, the red just disappears. So it's probably just going to crack up in little bits where it's been damaged by the sun, the heat. But we'll give it a go. If it don't work, then we'll get the rubber wheel out. I'm going to need a new one of those soon because it's getting a bit worn. But at least I've got a new drill to put it on as well. It's only a cheap drill, but should make light work of it really. But we'll give it a go. So I'll set you up on the tripod and let's see how we can do it. Actually, I thought I'd start on this bit first. So as you know, this is my preferred method by far. By far my preferred method. So you get some hot water on there. Let it soak for a little bit. Get an edge. And peel. And then as you go along, what you do is my little saying, pull and peel. It's actually coming off quite nice. Ish. I think I need to pour more. I suppose being a hot day helps. If you do this in the winter, it'll make it a lot harder, I suppose. But obviously you want to try and keep the water away from your fingers because it is a boiling kettle. But I find you're less likely to burn yourself doing this than you are with a heat gun. Heat gun's just a nightmare. And a hairdryer is a waste of time. So it's coming off relatively well actually. It's always going to be time consuming these things, but we may need the it's leaving some glue behind. So let's do the old pull and pour. So we got or pour and pull. So it shrivels it up a little bit, but there you go. So what you do is you just get your fingers out of the way and you pull, pour and pull. Any glue residue might come off with IPA or a bit of sticky stuff remover. Now that's going to go around the edge, so we'll come back to that bit at the end and get that off, but that's not too bad actually. So what we're going to do, I'm going to set you up on time lapse and we'll do the rest, and then we'll come back and we'll get the glue off hopefully, but you get the gist. So yeah, let's set you up. Right, there it is. Didn't take too long actually, it was alright. It's left a lot of glue behind though, as you can see, so I'm going to use a rubber. I'll try some IPA on it first, but I think I'm going to have to probably use the rubber wheel on it, especially for these bits where the dirt gathers. Yeah, and then it'll need a polish up, and then once I've got the glue off, I'll get that bit off as well, and then we can polish up the whole door then. Yeah, getting there. So I'm glad that I haven't got to take the door off again. That's good news. Anyway, let's see if the IPA will do it. I'm not convinced it will, to be honest, but we'll give it a go. I have got some various sticky stuff tight removers, so I might try one of those as well before I get the rubber wheel out. The rubber wheel will get it off. but it's a bit time consuming, to be honest. So we're going to go at this first. I'm going to have to get some more of this soon. I'm running out. No, it gets some of it off in the middle. No, I think we're going to have to go with a rubber wheel, to be honest. Yeah, let's get the rubber wheel out and try that. I know that'll work because I've done it numerous times before. Okay, so let's get that mirror out of the way. I'm just going to get that out and then we'll come back. I'll do a little bit with this and show you a little bit, and then we'll come back once it's finished then. It comes off quite well. Sometimes you have, once you get all the bits off you, and then have to go back again. Yeah, once you wipe it over, you can see the paint has faded, or rather is brighter under here, but hopefully a little bit of paint correction and it'll cutting it back, because this is presumably covered in road grime, I imagine, so hopefully that will polish up and it'll match, hopefully. Anyway, I'm going to pause you for the time being and then we'll come back as soon as I've got it done and show you. Right, that's the stripes taken off. So I used the rubber wheel, then I've gone over it, I washed it down with some water down there a couple of times, a couple of little bits that were left over. I've gone over it again with a rubber wheel. And then I've just gone over it again with a G10 finishing compound. You can see the paint where it's, but I think that's just oxidisation of the paint, and I think once I cut it back properly and polish it, I reckon that will do the job. I think it will all be okay. It doesn't show up that much, but again, it's one of those things that you know it's there, you see it. When I'm viewing it from this angle, you can't see it at all. It just blends in nicely. But the next thing we've got to do is do this thing at the bottom, which are glued on. I mean, they're glued on with they use a double-sided tape, I think, on these. They're not done with Tiger Seal, I don't think. Oops, I have taken them off before. I think once I took one off and it came off. Oh, taking the camera with me, sorry. Oh, pointing the camera at the floor now. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I did this once before and it came off quite easy. So as a matter of heating it up, I think I'll start at the back. So yeah, I'm going to heat it up and then just get my fingers behind it and see if I can pull it off. I think that will work, and then I'll probably have to get the rubber wheel on that as well. And then once we've done that, we can go over and polish the whole door then. So I'm going to heat it up a bit. Actually, I'll heat up this end first. It'd be nice to get this off in one piece, because if I ever buy a car, switch that off a minute, if I ever buy a car that's got these on and one side smashed, then I've got one, haven't I? I mean, there isn't one on the rear quarter, but it would be nice to have one. Oh yeah, yeah. I think I'm going to put some gloves on because it gets hot, which is why I don't use that method for doing the with my gloves. Right, so yeah, I've got my gloves here. And hopefully it won't be too, I only need one glove actually. So I don't know if that's, yeah, it's just sticky tape, it's not tiger steel, so I should be able to get that off. We'll heat it up a little bit more. Yeah, the more I can get off without having to, oh, it's hot, ow, 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 ow. So this is the problem using this heat gun, they do get blimmin' hot, and I don't want to use a scraper on it for obvious reasons. I don't want to risk scratching the paintwork, so I may have to use I think I'm going to have to use the toffee wheel on this as well, which is fine. Right, again, I'm not going to bore you with that. We'll do that, and we'll do the same as we did up here. Actually, you can't even see it when you're sitting down here. You can't see it. It's nice and smooth. You can just about see the colour change with the sun on it, just about, but not a lot. So I'm going to pause you again, and then we'll come back once we've got all that off, and then we can give it a machine polish. Right, that's all done. It's wet at the minute. I've just washed it down to get all the bits and pieces off. So that was a pig at the bottom. That was really difficult. It still left some little marks which aren't glue, so I might be able to cut that back. If not, I'll have to whack a little bit of paint over that. But that was an absolute pig to get off. I've been probably half an hour just getting that glue off. I had to use, I'll show you the two things that I used. Oh, it's really warm. So first of all, I used that sticky stuff remover, and then I used the old, where's it gone? No, not that, I can't find it now. What the hell have I done with it? I don't know, is it that? Intensive tar remover? No, it wasn't that. I don't know what I've done with it. It's here somewhere. No, maybe it was that. No, actually I think it was that, the intensive tar remover. Yeah, it was that, the Autoglim one. So I used that, and basically just brute strength. And when I say elbow grease, I don't mean elbow grease, I mean elbow grease. Really took a long time, and in the full sun here as well, which doesn't help matters, but all looking good now. I'd say a couple of little bits that need doing, but apart from that, that's all done now. So it looks much better than it did this morning. Door shuts properly, gaps are right, wings right. The only thing I've got to do is still some final adjustments on this bonnet as well. It needs to come down a little bit at the front, so we'll have to have a little bit of jiggery pokery on that. The bumper gap isn't fantastic, and it has got the bolt in it, so I don't really know why. Maybe that wing hasn't gone on fantastically well, but you know what these gaps are like. I might have a go at that and try and adjust it. This one's all right, this one's fine. Needs some touching up on here, but apart from that, it's all right. So I think what we need to do tomorrow, I'm not doing any more today, it's probably about 3 o'clock now, and it is really hot. What's the time? Oh, 20 to 4. It's really hot, and I know I've had enough today. Been in the full sun doing this. Although I haven't done a massive amount, what I have done has been in the full sun. So we're really getting there now, I'm not sure whether the aircon needs re-gassing or not. I have one problem with the aircon. And you know the little light that comes on when you turn the aircon on? That doesn't work. I've got an old one up here. Let me just show you. An old panel with one in, funnily enough, but it's not a bulb as such. Let me just put something on the bonnet and I can show you. Looking at it as if we were sitting in the car. So you got the two little bulbs there, the normal bulbs, and then this is the thing that when you turn it, this lights up. So it's not a bulb. It's not just a bulb that you can change. You can't just pull it out, I don't think. You could possibly change this whole piece here, and I did send this whole piece to somebody once that wanted it, which includes all the electrical connections and everything. Now, do I want to take a chance and take this one out and take that one out? Can't do it with one hand, but you need to bend these tabs back, and then possibly that pulls out, and then you've got the two electrical connections on. So I might have a go at doing that. I mean, I'm assuming this one works, but I don't know what sort of bulb it is. It's a funny little thing. It's a shame that you can't actually change that. I don't think you can. I don't think it pulls out. I'm trying to do it now one-handed, but I don't think it does pull out. But yeah, I'm a bit worried about changing that. I mean, there's a spring just there as well. I don't know what. See, as you turn it, that's for obviously for your speed controls. And then of course you press it for aircon. That's on and that's off. So yeah, don't think this bulb comes. I'm going to have a go. Once I've got two hands and I put the camera down, I'll have a better feel of it. But I don't think you can. But yeah, that's a bit of a nuisance. I've never had that before. Never ever had that before, that's gone. But yeah, we are getting there. So we'll leave it for now and we'll come back tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, what you've just seen on time-lapse, the reason that was on time-lapse is because I forgot to turn the microphones on. So I've been recording with no sound. So basically I'll tell you what I've done. So I took the stereo out, but I couldn't get it out because when you got the prongs in and you're sort of trying to prise it, it just doesn't come out. Sometimes it does, more often than not it doesn't. It's such a tight fit. So by taking that off, you can then, once you get the prongs in and you get your fingers behind it, you can get your fingers behind it and just pull it out. Aerial connection is connected. The next thing I did was change the bulbs, because what I was saying, and you probably saw that I showed on time lapse, I took this out of the other one that I showed you yesterday, and when I took this off and tried to show you that bulb in that didn't work, these weren't working either. So I said I'm going to just change those bulbs just to make sure it's not something more sinister. So I've changed those. I've just disconnected the battery. They do work now, take my word for it. So I'm hoping that by me changing this bit, it's going to work. So what I'm going to do exactly as I did on this one. I've disconnected the battery and I'm going to try disconnecting these little tabs, pulling the little tabs out. I don't want to break it, so I don't want it to end up not holding in place. So I'm going to try, if I can, encouraging it out. As I say, I'm just being more mindful that I don't want to break those tabs. Come on. There we go, I think it's coming now. I am worried about breaking these, because of course if you break them, as I say, it won't hold it in. Although it seems to be quite a tight fit, I have to say. Why is that not coming out now? It should. There's nothing to grip hold of, that's the trouble, to pull it. So you've got to try and prise it. This came out really easy, the other one. Unless the cables are really tight in there. Here we go, it's out. Here we go. Right, see how far I can pull it through. Yep, should be enough. So what I've got to do is somehow take the cables out. I'm not sure how much wire we've got to be able to pull it through. Okay, so let's see what I can do. So how do you... These are just the two cables. I'm not quite sure how it releases Okay, there's that little bar there on that one. Come on. Because you can't get behind it, you can't actually see how they push in. Yep. There we go, easy when you know how. Right, fingers crossed, if I now put this one in, so we'll put it back the same way we took it out, in that same order. So that goes in there. I wish I had a little bit more to play with. That one in like that. And then, it's difficult, it's really difficult. It's just, well, it's not difficult, it's just fiddly. Just got to get it lined up and try and push it. Just making sure the camera's still going. Nearly there, nearly there. There we go, I think that's in. Yeah. So before I push that home, I'm going to reconnect the battery. Just put it there. I'm going to reconnect the battery and then try it. Right. Okay, so yes, there you go, it's working. If we press it, it goes off. Press it, it goes in. So that works. So we push that back into position, lock the tabs over it. That's it. Oh, I'm good. That's good. I'm glad about that. I'm really pleased about that. Oh, there's my car. My new car's just arrived. How exciting. Right. You would have already seen the video of the car being delivered, but I thought I'd just... So yeah, well, that's the car delivered. Okay, so that is all nice and sturdy in there. That one's a little bit not pushed back properly, but that'll do. That'll do, I think. Right. Okay, so what we could do now is put this back on. Actually, no, this can go back on first. It's filthy, that state of it. I'm going to clean it first. So we'll stick that back on, like so. Okay, so we're going to put this all back together, and then we'll briefly come back, and then I think we'll finish this video off for the day, and we can think about the next video. So yeah, I'll just put all this back together, and we'll come straight back. Okay, that's it. It's all back together again. It all works nicely, which is good. I've cleaned all that up around there before I put that on. So there's another job done. Buttons are back. The fake buttons are back. Yeah, so I think we'll call it a day on this video now. So that is the end of this video. We will have one more video on this, at least one more video. I thought this might be the last one, but it's amazing when you start doing this stuff, and even though you're doing time-lapse, which obviously doesn't take as long for some things, it's amazing how quickly the minutes build up onto a video. And obviously I try not to make the videos too long. I like to ideally have them somewhere between 35 and 40 minutes long. When they get up to they're pushing the hour, it's a bit too long. So I will end this video here, and as I always say, if you're not a subscriber, please hit that button, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up. The next video will be coming up probably next weekend, I would imagine, and it may well be the last one, hopefully, with fingers crossed. So until then, as always, thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.